Hey guys, good afternoon. Thanks for jumping on. We're back with another live. Do me a favor, guys, if you jump on, drop that city and state. Let us know you're tuning in for. This is the blank spot, and we are a sublimation blanks and t-shirt transfer supplier. We're located just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. So if this is your first time, go ahead and take that number one. Also, let us know your state. Let us know where you are tuning in. Don't forget to check out the website, theblankspot.com, for all your sublimation blanks and t-shirt transfer supplies. We got hoodies, cotton and sublimation, t-shirts, cotton and sublimation. And then we got crew necks that are cotton. We also have ladies shirts, ladies cut shirts. So that's something you're looking for. Holidays are here. We got Santa sacks. We got Santa stockings, ornaments, and all that stuff, man. We got all types of things that can help you to attract your customers and enhance your business. So I want to come back on, guys, um, talk about some business. Rarely do we have time to do that during the week, but if we have time, I like to knock it out, man. Just to address anybody out there who's wanting to start a business. It doesn't matter what type of business, but if you want to start a business, this particular business we have right now, we're talking about apparel, crafting items, things like that. But if you're a t-shirt maker, a designer, something like that, you do some crafting and you want to get involved, then this is a great opportunity for you to go ahead and lock in and see what we got going on, man. So, like I said, drop that city and state, like the video and share the video. We're gonna take on a couple questions, man. Y'all got any questions off the bat? We can start right there. Any questions about business, getting started, things that you need? We always seem to have a lot of people who have questions about business when we're in sales mode. Right now, we're not in sales mode. So, if you got any questions about business, um, now's the time. So, I want to talk to you about some things that recently happened to us. And if you don't know, if you're a business owner, you gotta um you gotta make sure you have some things in order. One thing that you gotta make sure you have in order is business insurance. And you probably saying, "Well, I'm just working out of my home. I don't have a building. I don't need a building." Yada yada yada. Listen, business insurance is not just for people who have brick and mortar. It's not just for that. Business insurance is for people who have businesses. So definitely want to make sure that you have some business insurance. Uh, D was going over some of our paperwork, and we get these alerts. Just like you get insurance premium, you get these alerts that you're about to renew your business insurance. And we just happened to get an alert last week that our business insurance is about to renew next month, and that it was going up. Our premium was going up. So I'm going to be a little transparent. We started out with this company when we first got business insurance. I want to say back in 2017, I believe we started with this, and we watched our premium grow and jump. And a lot of times, you just kind of chalk it up to the economy. You chalk it up to, hey, that's just how it is. Uh, but just recently, our premium was jumping from um, right at like, I want to say like $1,100 what we were paying a month in our business insurance. It was going to drop. It was going to jump $500 more. So we were looking at close to $1,600, if not more, paying business insurance. So that's something that you got to stay on top of. The first thing we did was we got online. We started looking at other business insurance agencies, people who carry business insurance, and we made the phone call, or she made the phone call, and she dropped our current provider. She dropped, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of funny that we got insurance first. Of course, we were covered first because we didn't want to not have overlap. Anything can happen between the time you're on the phone, believe it or not, and the time that you change it. But we got covered, and then we dropped the insurance that was gonna automatically try to renew. It's funny because as small as customers who shop with smaller businesses, we always talk about customer service. And we always have these, in my opinion, unrealistic expectations about what businesses should be doing. But do you think that company called us and said, "Hey, your renewal is coming up"? They emailed us, but did you think they called us and said, "Hey, your renewal is coming up, and your premium is about to jump, you know, astronomically. Let's take a look at some things, see if we can lower your premium"? No, they didn't do that. They didn't call us and say, "Hey, let's take a look and see how we can drop your premium." But what they did do was when D went in there and said, "Cancel this insurance effective immediately," the first thing that the agent said on the phone after he pulled up our account, he said, "Is there anything that we can do?" First he asked, he said, "Why can I ask you why are you canceling?" And she said, "The premium is about to jump to $500." And he said, "Well, is there anything that we can do to try to look at to see if we can, uh, drop that premium, if we can save some money?" And I had to get up and walk out of the office because my thing is, if you want our business, it seems, and you saw that our premium was going to go from $1,100 to $1,600. It seems that you would have been calling saying, "Hey, listen, I'm checking out your premium. It's about to go up. I just want to schedule some time to see if we can sit down and see if there's some things that we can cut costs, things like that." They didn't do that. They did it after the fact. It was a reactive. And I say all that to say this: one, you got to stay on top of your stuff if you're going to be in business. Business in this industry is not just about making things, okay? It's more than that. But the other thing is, we as customers of small businesses and also small business owners, we always talking about how we want to have this best customer service experience. How small businesses are not providing the best customer services, and hey, I'm not gonna deal with this company anymore, and I'm gonna talk about you on social media, and I'm gonna blackball you, and I'm gonna try to cancel you. Nobody's talking about the big boys. So ATB marketing, what's going on? So that was an experience this morning after we got off live, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. The bigger companies are not doing great business. The larger companies, hey Sheila, the larger companies are not doing great business. They're not doing great. They're not providing great customer services. When are we gonna stop shopping with those guys? I think that's a good question. I think that's a real good question. When are we gonna stop shopping with them? You know, we decide we decide where we spend our money. We decide where our money goes. Nobody's holding us hostage, making us spend our money with them. So we decide where our money goes. I just thought that was kind of important to share. Y'all got to bear with me. I'm still getting some orders out from yesterday. I just thought that was important to share. You know what I'm saying? Um, hey Latrice, what's going on? Yeah, before we go to cancel, before we go to cancel, uh, our premium is about to skyrocket. Before we cancel, how about we do some proactive business practices? So anyway, you gotta have business insurance. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. By a show of hands, or you can do a type of number 2 in the comments. How many of you guys are business owners but do not have business insurance? It's not nobody's gonna get on here and you're not gonna get in trouble. But I'm gonna explain to you why it's important to have that business insurance, whether you have a brick and mortar or not. Type of 2 if you're not covered. If you're a business, if you're running a business, the reason why you need business insurance, what if somebody sues you, but what if you sell somebody something and they're allergic to it? Or what if you have an issue with some of your equipment? Maybe your equipment, something may happen to your equipment, like you may have a power surge in your equipment, and you actually register as a business. Maybe your insurance company, I don't know insurance like that, but maybe the insurance company says, hey, you know what? If you're running a business out of your home, they should be requiring you to have that business coverage anyway. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, John? So business insurance is important. It also helps you to make sure you can secure funding if you need funding. That's another option. Another reason why you should have business insurance. And also, a lot of these local contracts that a lot of people want to get, it's a requirement to have business insurance. A lot of people don't know. Like I said, this is not an attempt to bust you out, because we don't know what we don't know. However, we will be giving a free class. Good afternoon. Hey, Leanne. We're going to be giving a free class where we're going to be talking about how to actually start your business. And I think that's going to be important. The things that you're going to need to get started in business, and the things that's going to help you. Some of y'all are going to receive some of the stuff that we share, and some of y'all not, and it's okay. But we're going to have that sit down conversation on the webinar really soon. That's going to be something that's going to be very beneficial to you, because you can start thinking about if you really want to start a business and what all's involved. I can't tell you exactly what it is, John, because we busy. But it is planned. I already have the Zoom set up. I know y'all are busy too. But we got a lot of irons in the fire right now. I had hoped to have it this week, but we got a meeting that we have to attend, and that we have to actually prep for everything. So between getting these orders ready, pushing this stuff out. But yeah, hopefully it's gonna be soon. I'm thinking I may be able to squeeze it in this weekend. I'm not sure. It depends. But it's only gonna be for people. It's only gonna be for people who are serious about their business. And I'm gonna tell you something. The more we start talking about business, and the more structured conversations we start having, the the more structured conversations we start having, the more customers we're gonna start losing, the more views we're gonna start losing. We already know that, because we attract a lot of people who are crap. And unfortunately for them, we're not showing you how to craft. But I just want you to think about these things. If you are a business owner, you need to be set up properly. You need to have your I's dotted and you need to have your T's crossed. If you are in business and you don't have business insurance, that's going to weigh a lot on your operation. I'm not talking about having a proper structure right now, because you can have business insurance and be a self-employed person or have a doing business. That depends on your area and your location. But like you're actually making money from your home and you have equipment in there. If you don't have business insurance, then you may want to find out, does your homeowner's insurance cover business operations? That's something to think about. You don't gotta tell them what you're doing specifically because you don't want to mess yourself up. Anyway, so social media, man. We've been doing this social media thing for a little while, and we've been growing, and we've been attracting more and more people. So, for those of you who were on live earlier today, you probably heard me say something about someone coming on our platform and basically getting peeved because we charge for tutorials. Never let somebody else run your operation. There's an ongoing issue out there in this industry. And this is not a crafting industry. This is a business industry with a crafting, I guess, a crafting topic or lane. It's a business industry. But there's an ongoing issue out there in this industry where the foundation had been laid, where um, content creators and craft content creators giving information away for free, trying to make people. Um, I'm going to say this, and it's not quite accurate, but I'm a little petty right now. Um, Trying to make people like them, right? Trying to make people like them. There's a difference between sharing information to give value and sharing information because you want to be liked. We talk about that gatekeeping thing. If your platform is about sharing information, if your platform is about giving classes, if your platform is about showing crafters and other individuals how to design and how to create different things, that's your platform. That's your platform. But there's a lot of people out there in these Facebook groups, and also in these on these YouTube channels who are belittling the fact that we're actually operating as a business. It's a business. There's products and there's services. Um, there's an exchange. You buy something from us, we give you a product in return. You pay for some time, we provide you a service. That's business. And it doesn't change because we're small business owners. It's the same. But there's an epidemic of people out there who are making it worth nothing. They're making it worth nothing. They're saying, "Hey, you know what? Um, you shouldn't charge for what you charge for because you didn't pay for it, or you shouldn't charge for it because it's only some information." Well, once again, don't allow people to. Um, it's just a recommendation. Don't allow people to dictate how you run and operate your business. You see, if you want to know how much something costs, feel free to go to our website. The website is theblankspot.com. If you're on Facebook, you can actually go to our bio and you'll see our website, or you can actually go to the description. If you go outside of the live, go into the description, and you can see the link. You can click there. Okay, you can look at all sublimation prints, or you can just look for whatever specific transfer you're looking for. Darlene, how you doing? Rhonda, what's going on? So, yeah, don't allow people to dictate how much charge for your products and your services. Let's talk about a little bit about sublimation, man. And sublimation, like my wife says, sublimation is our baby. Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? There's these sublimation groups, one in particular, and I'm going to show you something that I get content from this group. I'm in no way trying to go in this group to advertise or to pique anybody's interest. That would be, I guess, probably would be unethical. I wouldn't even try to, because it's always going to be an issue, okay? But I'm going to show you a screenshot that I took, and the fact that nobody could actually answer this young lady's question, okay? Matter of fact, you know what? I can't do that. I was going to see if I can bring it up on the page. So, this young lady in the sublimation for beginners in easy something, something, something. Y'all probably seen the group. She said, "Hi, there is still plenty of ink on my paper or on paper. Did I not press long enough? Low temp?" And I started looking at the responses. The responses that this young lady was asking a question, and you should have seen the responses. Nobody answered the question. We had a couple of people that came close. You even had somebody said that that's normal. It's normal to have ink left on your paper. She clearly stated that she's using let's see, she's got an HTV runt press. She didn't say what type of paper. She pressed for 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I would love to know what paper she's using. But nobody in that group could tell her what the problem was. And I brought that up because a lot of you guys probably are ending up in groups because they're popular or because they say beginner, and you feel less intimidated by going in those groups. But let me ask you guys a question. And I want y'all to be really honest with me, okay? I want you to think about this. If I'm in a boat in the middle of the ocean and there is no land in sight, and I'm trying to get to land, what good is it going to do me to ask somebody who's in the same boat how to get to land? What good is that going to do me? I don't think she's using copy paper. I wouldn't say she's using copy paper. I would definitely say she's using a paper. I'm gonna definitely say she's probably using a paper that needs butcher paper. I'm gonna definitely say she's using paper that have a good transfer rate. Um, and I can name several papers that she's probably using. Hey, Cham, how you doing? I can definitely name several papers that she's probably using. But I use that example of that young lady in this group. She's in a sublimation beginners group, and nobody could answer her question in the sublimation for beginners group. I didn't see the admin come on and answer a question. I didn't see nobody. They just started saying stuff. So some of the answers that they was maybe you should press longer. It's normal to have ink left on your paper. Only one person said that different papers have different results. That's only one person said that. There was also somebody that said if the paper gave you the result that you wanted, then don't worry about the I guess the waste paper is what they were talking about. There's so many. What I'm basically saying is there's so many people that's being misled in this industry that people don't know what right looks like. Hello, I'm new here. There's this process just trying to learn the best, most financially sound way to become successful. So, are you a business owner or are you crafty? Because you threw a lot of things in there. I'm new. I'm looking for the best way to become and the most financially sound way to become successful. If you're new, there's no way around, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't know. If you're new and you're starting a business, there's no way around the finances. The way around the finances is you're gonna end up like this. You're gonna end up like this because what's happening is getting in these groups and listening to people who are crafting like you is leading you down the crafting road, and there's no answers down the crafting road. Y'all probably say I beat up crafters. There's probably somebody out there say, "Hey, it's always talking about crafting. It's always talking." Here's facts. Here's some facts. Yeah, one question gets 100 different answers, and you know why one question gets 100 different answers? Because you don't have any professionals that's answering the question. I want you to think about that. When I go to a mechanic, if I'm having heartburn, when I go to a doctor, if my vehicle's having problems, why are we in boats? We're in a boat in the middle of the water together, and we're asking the same people that are in the boat with us how to get to land. And then all of a sudden, a rescue helicopter comes by and they have a megaphone on, and they're dropping their ladder. They're dropping their ladder and say, "Hey, I'm here to rescue you. I got help for you." And you're saying, "Nope, me and these other four people, we're gonna stay in this boat and we're gonna figure it out. Because if I get on that helicopter, it costs me some money to get rescued." If you go to a group or a page or somebody who's professional who has a business, it may cost you some money. It may cost you some money to invest in yourself. So you got to ask yourself the question. And I never answer questions right off the bat. So if you're new and you're new to the process, you got to decide whether you're new as a crafter or you new as a business owner, because it's different answers. There's different roads that you should go down, but you have to try things. You still have to have a budget to try things out. Taking my word for it or anybody else is not going to be good. Trying to become a business owner, I'm not trying to be a crafter. All right, I understand it takes finances. Trying to make the best decisions regarding using my finances. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to consider this because it's not a one size fits all answer. Okay, you got to find out what type of business owner you're going to be, what type of product you're going to provide. Once you do that, because you're kind of we're on a Facebook Live slash YouTube Live, and that probably is a question that's going to be best answered on a one-on-one. That's what that's probably going to be best question answered on a one-on-one, because the answers that I can give you are only going to be assumptions. I can't bring you on live, so that's going to be only be assumptions. So the best answer to that question, you need to have a one-on-one. Now we do offer a one-on-one service. I don't know if you want to invest in that or not. You can go here. There's a service that's called Pick My Brain. Okay, or you can wait till possibly Friday, and we may be able to have that conversation. But still, you'll be live. You need to be able to ask questions, not type in. But I see what you're saying. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of something that might help you out. Since you're trying to become a business owner and you're not trying to be a crafter, and you also understand that it takes finances, you're trying to make the best decisions. First thing that you need to do is find out how you're going to fund your business. Have you gotten started? Do you know what type of business you're going to be doing? Are you making t-shirts? Are you making cups? Are you making bags? Any other type of apparel? Are you going to be buying this stuff yourself, or are you going to be outsourcing? Do you have business? Do you have suppliers? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? There's a lot of different avenues that you want to take. A lot of different avenues that you want to take, or that you could take. What groups are you in right now? Matter of fact, we have a private Facebook group. Join the group. It's free to join. All you have to do is ask. Oh, all you have to do is answer the questions. Okay. You don't have to share anything you don't want to share, but if you leave the questions unanswered, admin won't let you in. So join that private Facebook group. Now the questions that you have in there, we got a little bit more access to each other. Okay. Um, but thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. Not a lot of people are wanting to start a business and be structured. That's one of the things I'm finding out. A lot of people want to start a business and they want to do it their own way. Products. Let's talk about products and services. How are you planning on, and this, if you're still there, how are you planning on sharing your products and services? How you plan on taking orders? Are you going to be taking orders through word of mouth? Are you going to be taking orders through email? Are you going to be taking orders through your cell phone? You know, you're going to give strangers your phone number? Well, I know these people are. When they start buying from you, I promise you they're strangers. They're going to start treating you like one devil. Let me see. Thank you, Darlene. One thing I've never seen in the industry and never will is telling the new people you're going to waste a lot of money before you make a dollar. Well, Steve, you just said it, and I'm going to say it again. If you're new in this industry, you're going to burn through a lot of money before you make money because it's a learning process. It's a process. And you know why? You know why, Steve? You've never heard that? You ain't never heard that because the people, the crafters, the content creators, the crafters, they're really not there. They're really not there. Many of them, I can't say all of them, but many of them are not there to tell you the truth. Because the truth is going to stop people from being a part of your Facebook group. The truth is going to stop people from being a part of your YouTube channel. The truth is going to stop people from doing your challenge. The truth is going to stop people from. The truth is not always motivating and inspiring. So people know, hey man, if I tell these guys the truth, that they may not make the money that they think they're gonna make in this industry. It's gonna deter them from wanting to do it. And then I may have lost a sale. You know, the truth is not that inviting. You know, the truth sounds like hate to people who hate the truth. Something to think about. So no, you're not gonna hear a lot of people in this industry talking about you may not make a lot of money when you're just getting started. You may not make money at all. I understand that as I lost and lost before I made money. Yeah. But see, the other part of it, Steve, is this. Here's the other part of it, and this is for everybody who's listening. If you set up like a business and you take a loss, this is another part that they don't explain. If you set up like a business and you take a loss, you can claim that loss on your taxes. That loss can be claimed on your taxes because you're in business and you're attempting to make a profit. And claiming that loss on your taxes is going to lower your taxable liability. And in turn, you won't lose, you'll win. But something I learned in network marketing, I learned this in network marketing. I was very ignorant when I first started network marketing. I didn't understand. Network marketing, and I'm not talking about a pyramid. I'm talking about the same thing as a job. Whether you sign somebody up for a service and they recruit, that's not a pyramid. But anyway, if people don't make the money that they think they're going to make in network marketing, the first thing they say is a scam or it's a pyramid. But network marketing does not teach tax strategies. They don't teach it. Let's see. Yes, to a certain point. See, like to outsource everything right now. When I get going, I'll buy a heat press. When that gets paid off, move on. So you're gonna take your time. So I mean, it's so, and I gotta add something to that. It's not about whether you have equipment or not having equipment. Most people in this industry, in the crafting industry, they start off wanting to have control of everything. That's the crafter's mentality. Nobody can do it better than me. Most people don't go into it with a business mentality. If you look at today and you hear somebody saying, "Hey, I got a website and I drop ship certain products," a lot of folks gonna look at you like you're not a business. In the same way, if you're a self-employed business owner, a lot of people who have a job are not gonna look at you as a responsible person. They're not gonna look at you as you're serious. They're gonna look at you as you're lazy because you don't have a regular job. So for people who outsource, maybe you have a website, maybe somebody's drop shipping for you. That doesn't make you less than a business owner. Because if you think about it, the idea of business is to offer a product and service or service. But also the idea of business is not to be doing it yourself. That's the whole idea. It's not to do everything yourself. So outsourcing is very smart. But you have to understand you're just getting started and you got a heat press and you're trying to learn how to press stuff, and there's a learning curve with the transfers and the fabric. There's a learning curve with pricing. There's a learning curve with all types of things, marketing, and you're taking on all that by yourself. Outsourcing probably is going to be the best thing to do in the beginning. It's not to say you shouldn't know how things are supposed to be, how things are supposed to run. I'm just sharing this because I know not everybody's going to agree with me. Once again, that crafter's mentality is that I want to do everything myself. I want to control everything. This is my business. I'm going to run it like I want to run it. Some of us are in our 50s, 60s, and yes, some people get started as late as 70s, and they work jobs for a very long time. And that mentality has never got them a promotion on the job, doing it myself, or being my own boss and all that stuff. It's never, you never get anything like that. You think about it, the same concept about business at a job is the same concept that you got to take into consideration on your business. You got to make connection. You got to think about you can't do everything by yourself. And that may take some time as well as finding people that you may have to outsource stuff to. And I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. And that's a chance you take in business. That's a risk you take. Outsourcing is not the answer, it's an answer. So that's once again, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. Please don't get upset. But if you think like that the answer is you doing everything yourself, that means that we think that we can't mess up. We will always be in that mindset of I'm never going to outsource. So I'm not going to outsource. So what if they mess it up? If they mess it up, then you make it right as a business owner. That's how it works. You sit down and you get samples from the people that you would outsource to or from. Same thing. You go to these companies and you get samples and you find out if that's some good work, if that's acceptable in your eyes. I'm talking about people who are looking to build a business. I'm not talking about people who cool with working from home, who cool with being self-employed. I'm talking about people who are looking to build a business above and beyond what they can even think of. I tried doing it all myself with previous business in another industry. I found out the hard way I can't do everything by myself, so I decided to change the status quo. There's different answers right now. There are some things that you can do yourself and be successful at doing it. Some of those things are going to go in, and it's going to be in moderation. But do me a favor, type a number 3 in the comments if you work a job. Type a 3 in the comments if you work a job. This next thing I'm about to say is a misconception in the business industry, in the small business industry as well. In the mindset of a small business owner, self-employed or solopreneur, nobody can do it like me. I know it's not a lot of people on here, but we got one person that type of 3. So that's the person I'm going to direct this to. If you have a job and other responsibilities, and you're looking to grow your business, and you're offering a product or a service to your customers or potential customers, and you're working, you find the right company to outsource to, and you could be making money while you're at work. The problem is most crafting-minded individuals are not going to be interested or willing to get samples. And also, you got to think about it like this as well. That company that you decide to outsource that work to, do your research. They have to have some type of reputation of being solid, which is why our business model changed up. So, and then our conversation changed up because we still attract a lot of crafters. But when we sit down and have these conversations, and we have these webinars, and y'all know what I'm talking about. We don't have a lot of people on the webinars. Just like this live, I know it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast. We're not going to have a lot of people on this live because I'm not making anything. And that's not just the crafters, that's the business owners too. Because people are looking to be entertained, not educated. So now you sit there and say, hey, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, hey, this guy's on here talking about business. I'm going to share the live. Whether I share the live and it comes from my timeline and it makes me more receptive or accessible to other people and say, hey, this person shared this live. I saw it on this timeline, whatever. Now you gain some more followers, you gain some more people interested in what you do. People are not interested in being educated as much as they're interested in being entertained. So therefore, when you start talking about conversations and topics like this is not at the top of people's list. It's not. Or I just want to sit in my craft room with my heat printers, all my equipment, and I just want to make custom stuff. Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this to anybody out there listening. And if it steps on toes, then you might need to go get some steel toe boots. Let me tell you something. You are limiting yourself, especially if you're talented. You're limiting yourself by just saying, hey, I'm gonna wait on custom or personalized stuff. People will lie when I ask this question because I already know the truth. There's 12 months in a year. That means there's 12 federal observances. We're just gonna go with it. 12 federal holidays. And then we talk about a birthday, an anniversary, graduation. So let's say there's 15 times in a year that you may have access to a customer to do something custom or to do something personalized. So you got to ask yourself, if that's what I'm focusing on, custom stuff and personalization, and I don't have a job, it's my main meat, it's my main thing, and I don't have a job, then how many custom items can I make per year? How many customers do I have? Are they coming back to me every month? This is a numbers game, no matter how you look at it. You don't have to agree with me. As a matter of fact, I prefer to disagree. Just give me some facts. Give me some facts. If you're doing custom stuff all the time, if your business is working and living off of custom and you working just fine, you're the exception. But going back to these groups, the reason why a lot of these crafters are staying craft is because the people that they're following are keeping them in a crafting position. They're not talking about them starting a business. And if they are talking about them starting a business and they do start talking about outsourcing, now they're scared out of their behind because nobody can do it. This is not a conversation that we want to have. When we go live and I start talking about this, and my wife is on here, we're talking about this. This ain't a conversation that people hang around for. It's not. This is a very unpopular conversation because people want to do what's for them. Or, watch this. People want to do what's not failed for them. So you say, well, it's working for me. No, it just hadn't failed yet. And I'm not speaking anything negative about anybody's operation. I just know for a fact. I know how many months in the year. I know how many holidays in the year. And if you are creating custom items or personalized items, people do not have to buy your stuff. You think I'm on here because I like being on live? People don't have to buy your stuff. I'm on here so we can stay relevant. It's not necessary to buy sublimation blanks and supplies or t-shirt transfers. Only if you're a business and you pushing your business is irrelevant. Only then. We talk, Steve. I remember. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not telling everybody to go out there and get a brick and mortar. Listen, the best business that you can have is a home-based business because you have all the tax write-offs. Once again, that's not a conversation that these craft agents are having because they can't talk about what they don't know. It's simple as that. They can't talk about what they don't understand. If somebody's creating content out of their house and they have no overhead, nothing but a camera, and just digital content, maybe a couple of things here and there, they can't tell you how to write things off. They can't tell you how to leverage a home-based business, let alone a brick and mortar. I can't tell you that because most people think that, hey, I got to have a brick and mortar to be a real business. That ain't making real sense because there's always been home-based businesses. I didn't know it, but people have been working from home, a business from home for years. But the issue is, what are we doing to develop our education about our business? Really operating a business. Just because we're making money, that doesn't mean, or making sales, that doesn't mean that we're operating in the capacity of a business. And it definitely doesn't mean that we're taking full advantage of all the business has to offer. If we had a huge basement, you wouldn't see anything but our basement. Because I would much rather pay for my house and write it off as a business expense, a portion of it off as a business expense, than to rent to lease somebody's office building and give them a tax break. I mean, we're still getting a break, but there's two places we're paying. And people have been deceived into thinking that, man, if you don't have a brick and mortar, you ain't really a business. You should see the foolishness that goes on, and some of you guys have. If you see the foolishness that goes on, people breaking their back to get a building, and they got more than enough space at their home. They don't even have the operation to expand like they wanted, like to expand them. But because they listen to somebody that bought a couple of things from them, And then they say, hey, well, you know what? You should get a building. I told y'all, man, you got to stop listening to people who are in the same boat as you. You got to stop listening to people who gassing you up just to run you out. It sounds good. Yeah, it's just like that. Now, if you have the capacity, if you have the inventory, if you have the need for that space, that's something different. But even then, you work up to it. You don't just jump off the porch and say, "Hey, I'm going to get a brick and mortar." They got a lot of people hurting right now because they got money from TikTok. They got TikTok money. They got TikTok sales. They got people hurting right now. They got TikTok sales. The first thing they did once they got situated, they went out there and they got themselves a brick and mortar. Working from home, more than enough space. They thought their demand went up because their orders came on TikTok. What they failed to realize is TikTok, them ain't your customers. And when I talk about customers not being loyal, TikTok, man, they going where the sales are. I mean, nobody want to have that conversation though. That's a conversation nobody want to talk about. But what I was saying, as I was saying about the young lady with the sublimation issue, we gotta stop. We gotta stop asking questions of people just because we're comfortable with them. We got to put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation, ask that uncomfortable question so we can get that uncomfortable answer. If all you want is for somebody to tell you what you want to hear, I wish you well. But I'm going to be honest with you. Ain't really too much good going to come out of hearing what you want to hear, not if you want to grow. Let's talk about websites. Talked about this before. Everybody's not going to have a website. But you have to ask yourself, at what point should I be thinking about this? At what point should I be getting a system to make sure I'm good? I've had people give me business advice, but they have never had a business nor experience. That's what people do. That's what people do, man. That's what I don't know nothing people do. Yeah, let's see. The wrong one. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, that's what that's what I don't know nothing people do. You know, folks who don't know. You know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. That's another thing. Before we talk about the website, you got to protect your ear gate. You gotta protect your ear gate, and you have to protect your peace. When you start a business, you're gonna have all types of people that come through. You're gonna have all types of people that come through, giving you advice. Let's see. Get to that. Take it to the website done. But you know where you are. You know what you need to do. Just get it done. Let that be a goal for 2026, if nothing else. But before we talk about the website completely, you got to protect your peace as a business owner because you're going to become a part of an elite group of people who are doing something that the majority of the population wouldn't dare do. You're different. As the Bible would say, you're set aside. You're not like everybody else. I'm going to say this to y'all, man. I learned this once again through some mentors in network marketing. Listen, the best investment that you can make is the one making yourself. The only time making an investment in yourself is not good is if you're not a good person. So if you garbage and you know you garbage, then don't make that investment. That might sound kind of harsh, but the truth is the truth. If you know that you lazy and you're not motivated and you don't like doing this and you don't like doing that, then don't make that investment in yourself. But if you know you're a go-getter, then that might be the investment that you need to make. The problem is most of us don't want to hear the truth. If you got a problem getting up in the morning, going to somebody else's job, then don't you think you're gonna have a problem getting up in the morning going to your job? What's gonna change? Well, Eric is different because I'm working for myself. How is it different? You had every opportunity to practice on somebody else's job. You had every opportunity to practice for the game. And when the game came, you didn't show up. So what's different from you not showing up or wanting to show up for somebody's job, and then what's gonna be different to make you want to show up for your business? These are the things that see. This is the lie that people don't want to be on. All these people that come on our lives and peek in to see what we making and see what we doing, and they call themselves business owners. They lying. They lying. How you gonna call them a liar? I just did. But they're not lying to me. They're lying to themselves. Because you ain't got to impress me. Mm-mm. I don't care what you do. You know what you ain't gonna do? You ain't gonna come over and start just the blank spot with your little ideas about what we should and shouldn't be doing. I bet you ain't gonna do that. Take your peace, man. Take your peace. You're gonna have to learn how to ignore people, family members, friends, co-workers, social media gurus. I'm saying, who is he to be telling me all this? Man, you do what you want to do. This is my life. I'm just on here talking on my life. One thing I won't do is lie to you. I won't lie to you. If you're on this platform and you're in this circle, I'm not gonna lie to you. Because lying to you does me no good. You succeed, I succeed. You got to learn how to protect your ear gate, protect your peace. Now let's talk about this website. Well, before we talk about website, let's talk about platforms like Etsy. Because a lot of people get their start on Etsy. How many people have an Etsy platform? We do. How many people have an Etsy platform? I'll wait. Internet must be delayed. That's what it is. You got an Etsy platform. You don't? I got on in the works. So you got it in the works. So let me ask you a question. This is gonna be a direct. Why do you have an Etsy platform and not a website? Leanne says she's working on a website right now. Why would you prefer to do Etsy before doing a website? Good right here. If y'all didn't know, this is an interactive call. Just word of mouth. All right. I appreciate that honesty. Word of mouth is not bad. It's limiting, and it gives you what you want. It gives you just what you want. Let's see. So why would you want a website? Why would you want an Etsy account before a website? I only trust my older sister, who's an esthetician, with her own, and them to give me business advice. Did you say business? What's the being business business major or business management? We gonna have to talk later on too. I have one, but having trouble formatting the website for custom orders. So, Kia, is that you have a website or you have a an Etsy brick and mortar? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's. I apologize. You know, I be having brain cramps. Um, and that's just generic business advice, as you probably already know. So you saying you're having some issues setting up your website. Let me see. I'm trying to read. Trying to read. Have a website bling Etsy yet? I don't understand that. You got to clean that one up for me, honey. Oh, not Etsy. Gotcha. Gotcha. So what type of website you have? What do you have? What's your platform? No worries, appreciate it. But being I only have one DTF printer, I don't think I can keep up with the demand. I don't understand, John. I don't understand. You create the demand and then you control the demand. See, some of y'all not getting it, man. Some of y'all not getting it. How can somebody go viral and then say I can't keep up with the orders? You control how much you put out. I don't understand. You got a Square website? Did you check out Square support to see? We don't have Square, we have Shopify. Yeah, there's no such thing as not being able to keep up with the demand. You create the demand. You know what I'm saying? You create it. A lot of the ways that I used to think, it used to hold me back. I'm a word of mouth, but also for products at trusted locations. Yeah, I think she's probably talking about stores. I mean, if you paying Square and you having problems setting something up, there should be some type of tech support that they offer. Because after all, having a website is some type of form, some type of form of outsourcing. Bless you. A website is a system, and a system in place. If you're looking to grow, this is not to demean, put anybody down to make you feel a certain. Well, I'm lying. It ain't to demean you, but it is to make you feel a certain type of way. I want everybody in our circle to be successful. I do. I promise you, I do. A website is a system, and when you got the right systems in place, you can benefit from it. Etsy, most people do Etsy because once again, getting in these, getting freaking in these freaking groups. Get in these freaking groups. And y'all listen to these crafters talk about how Etsy does all of the advertising for you, right? Tell you something, man. You got 100,000 business owners on Etsy. 50,000 of them are doing similar things. Etsy's not advertising to you or for you. They're advertising to the customer. And if your product comes up, there's going to be a whole bunch of suggestions on the bottom, just like Amazon. People do that because they have to market. And if you don't understand marketing, you're saying, well, you know what? I'm gonna get an Etsy account. They're gonna market for me. They ain't marketing for you. They showing everybody stuff. You're not a priority. Then you find yourself elbowing people, elbowing people, trying to get your product out there. Then you start dropping your products, dropping your prices. Yeah, that, like D just said, the suggestions at the end, they say, hey, look at this. So you got a t-shirt for $30. It's a design of a t-shirt, $30, right? You tell the t-shirt it is, style, size, what you go up and down, all that stuff. And then the suggestion on the bottom is going to say, hey, here's some other suggestions that may be better. And you may see a t-shirt for 25 or 27. They're not advertising for you. They're advertising for themselves. Want to stop using Square for Shopify? My machine, the link to my Shopify on set. Okay, Chenille. Let me see. Cool, that's actual smart move / idea. I've given that advice to crafters as well. I'm not a crafter, so I don't do it. Hey man, listen. I don't know everything, but I definitely don't want to come on here and sound like I'm dumb either. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to come on here sounding like I'm foolish at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to come on here sounding like I don't know anything. But you got to think about some of the decisions that we make. Some of the decisions that we make, they're coming from social media. Most of the decisions we make is coming from social media. How many of you guys have a business consultant? How many have you sat down with somebody one-on-one and said, somebody who's qualified or you've listened to or somebody you've gone to because they have a business? How many of you guys have sat down, the ones that say they want to start a business or in business, how many of you guys have sat down and talked to somebody face-to-face about your particular business, about how to get it up and going? How many of y'all talk to somebody? That's just a thought-provoking question. Because let's be honest. We know how to work a job. That was easy. Working a job was no problem. We're talking about a business here. And the problem is, a lot of us don't know how to operate a business. And I mean, I probably cut some of y'all out just now by saying, talk to somebody one-on-one about your business. They couldn't obviously know more than you about your business and what you want to do. So I don't know why I even mentioned that. That's ludicrous. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I talk to somebody else? Because they may know more than you. They may be in a position to actually help you. They just may be in a position to help you out. We live in a society, man, to where we really don't trust each other. We don't trust people. And I get it. I understand, man. I definitely get it. But at some point in your life, you're going to have to trust somebody. Because the decisions that you're making, and most of us are making and have made, are based on the fact that we worked a job. We got to stop applying what we know about a job to a business. Unless you're talking about working hard. The IRS should be the first understanding. I agree. You know, we got we got virtually blacklisted or blackballed. We got virtually blackballed because when we first got started, that's what we were talking about. We were talking about home-based business, tax deductions, and things like that. We were pulling out IRS publications and showing people how to set themselves up. And you know our customers stopped shopping with us. Yeah. So that's why we stopped talking about it. Why would we talk about something that's not going to bring us some income, some revenue? We stopped talking about it. It wasn't fruitful. I'm sitting there trying to give you, me and my wife, we sitting there every Friday, right? We was coming on talking about business beyond crafting. How many people remember that? If y'all followed us for so long, how many of y'all remember business beyond crafting? That's the issue I'm having. I've been Turner Company for 28 years. And now that I'm retired, I have my own business and I'm struggling a little to get along. Well, maybe you need to talk to us. We do have a pick my brain. You wish you could turn back the time. So John, you remember we was doing business beyond crafting. We had our brick and mortar. Every Friday, we get in front of this idiot box right here. We get in front of this not so smart box right here. And we try to reach people to talk to them about business. It didn't take us long to realize that we were talking to a lot of crafters. People who had no interest. People had no interest in running and operating a business. You had a handful of people that would listen and get involved. We had some trainings and some classes. And then you had a lot of people that, didn't want to. And we saw our sales begin to decline. Our sales slowly began to decline. So yeah, we stopped that, man. We had to put an end to that. You remember that too, Chenille? You said them combos helped you. Well, some people took advantage of it. And of course, some people didn't. Yeah, I think you were just coming around then, Steve. Some of those videos are still on our YouTube channel. It's in a playlist that's called Business Beyond Crafting. Yeah. Yeah, we had to adjust, man, because we thought we had gained people's trust and we thought we had found some people that wanted to start business and stuff, and it went a different route. Yeah, I mean, let me tell y'all something, man. Sometimes just hearing a word from somebody else is just gonna be a little bit of more clarity. Maybe just to verify what you already know. Got it. Got it. One sec. Hey, y'all give me a sec. All right. I thought I cut it up. All right. Yeah, man. Just think about that. Sometimes just about a verification. You know what I'm saying? That one-on-one gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to ask questions without being interrupted, to ask questions without feeling like somebody's invading your space and your privacy. It's an hour. You know what I'm saying? You too. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. What I will say is we're gonna do our best to incorporate more business conversations. It's definitely going to be in detail after hours. I'm not going to apologize for not being able to give you a specific timeline because we're just like you. We got businesses and families. However, when we do have it, it's going to be to your advantage to take advantage of it. It's going to be free, man. You know, if we can spend some time on here asking you to buy our stuff, we can definitely spend some time later on sharing with you how to keep the money that you make from the stuff that you buy from us. So I think it's important. But the information is going to be shared on our Facebook. That's why I tell people to join our Facebook page. And if you're part of the Facebook private group, I may start to be inclined to drop some live videos, more detailed there as well. That way people who don't feel comfortable just yet to get on that webinar, they can see it. But most of these are going to be webinars. And it's like that for a reason, because we don't want people to cause confusion. We can control it on the webinar. We can't control it on this platform. We get you off these platforms and we get you in an intimate setting to where you can actually be yourself and open up about your concerns, your questions, your thoughts. You know, that's what this is about. Man, Steve, you ain't got to keep doing that, man. We definitely appreciate you, bro. We do. We appreciate you. That is one of the things that we're passionate about. We're passionate about helping people who want help. I can care less about somebody who don't want help. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. We've learned from that. But in business, there's lots of different variables. And you're gonna hear a lot of different things, a lot of different you're gonna hear a lot of different things, man, out there in them streets. And I'm not gonna tell you not to verify what we say. Definitely verify it. But there's a lot of people who are not going to make that step to get off of social media to get on a private platform so they can actually discuss like adults what they need to discuss. So anyway, let me get off here. I got to finish these orders up. Thank y'all for your time. Hopefully you got some value out the conversation. Like I say, stay tuned. I'm gonna see, because we've been grinding, man. I don't know if y'all noticed, but we've been grinding. And you know, I'll pull a last minute, or anytime. I'm ready anytime. But I got to be considerate of my wife, because I need her to be there as well. But I'm gonna say let's shoot. What we got going on tomorrow, Zeke? We got a meeting tomorrow. We got a meeting tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Thursday. You got a meeting with you tomorrow? Confirm.
Wow. What we doing? We meeting Wednesday. What's the day?
Today's Wednesday. Y'all supposed to be meeting today. Our meeting, the three of our meetings today. But I'm talking about for our son. Our son is starting his own. He's starting another business, and we are making sure. Huh? Today's Wednesday. So I'm gonna. Thanks, I appreciate it, John. We're gonna shoot for 8 p.m. tomorrow. I'll put out a notification, but let's shoot for 8 p.m. tomorrow. Look on Facebook for the notification so y'all can get access to the webinar. It's Eastern Standard Time. All right. So I'm gonna put Eastern Standard Time in big bold letters because some people started coming on an hour into the meeting and we were getting off. But yeah, you're welcome, Lynn. Y'all take care. Appreciate y'all. Like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. I'll see everybody at the top because there's too many people struggling at the bottom. Peace.